I mean, have you ever not told someone something that you should have told them, but you were afraid to, so you didn't, and then it turned into a whole complicated thing that you never should have gotten into in the first place?
Hey, Anthony, I'm taking a look at your work. Thank you so much for entering the 11-second club. My name is Paul Allen. I'm a senior animator at id Software. I've worked in TV, film, and games, and I've been with Animation Mentor as a mentor since 2006, 2007. I really love this shot that you did. You said that you was having some over in the comments. You was having some issues with a little bit of crackly noise from TV paint. That's totally fine. And when we're working on on things in production, sometimes things are in different states, and even crackly audio, it gets the idea across and sets the scene. And what really sets the scene for me is all the visual storytelling you did in this, just laying out all the little details, the cards on the table. I immediately get the feeling from just the visual clues that it's like a seance type of setting, and I really like that. So visual storytelling, it cuts out the exposition that you don't necessarily need to get the pull the viewer in. You do a really good job of framing this as well, because you have the character that she is talking to is just right here in the close in the foreground in the corner, so it frames it nicely. And then she has the framing of the curtains, has the big chair that is a nice sort of spot for her to be doing her performance. So all the little details are really cool. And just the little attention to details with this made me immediately think, when I looked at it, that it was like she was doing like a tea reading or something, like with the upside down cup. Sometimes that's involved in seances. So that visually, that sort of jumped out at me, and I was like, oh, that's sort of cool. The crystal ball was really cool with the looping animation that you put it in it of the it's like a it's like a lava lamp and with a skull theme on it. So it really fits the vibe of this really nicely. As far as like overall critique, I think that you did a really good job on this. The character, you're staying on model with the character, so even if the character is doing like three-quarter turns and things like that, everything is the facial features feel like they're fitting nicely on the head and maintaining their positioning on the character's face. So that I think that's really nice. As far as like a critique overall, I would say the biggest thing that jumped out after I absorbed all the beauty of the look around it and the setting is that it feels like when you're transitioning to new poses, it feels a little even, a little similar timing, as if you look at it as a whole piece. So a couple of areas that you could, like this right here, is, but you were afraid to that maybe the a transition to a little bit faster movement through there, just to break up the timing and the texture just a little bit. But everything is so clean, and it feels nice. So nothing like jumps out that is wildly off. It's just this type of feedback on a lot of times is sort of subjective on some of these things. But a little time look at a secondary timing pass might be nice. And the other thing, and this is a weird thing for me to notice, is that I like the offset of the candles over here on the flames here and here. This flame and this flame right here and this flame right here seem like they're in sync. So breaking, offsetting that just a little bit for people like me who notice things like that. Because once the piece goes by, this is the kind of thing that people might notice on like repeat viewing, but it really, getting that little bit of offset really helps. As far as like the facial acting and the face poses, I think everything feels really nice. It feels appropriate. It doesn't feel like you're overacting. So I think that's really cool. You could possibly, with this foreground character, if you had, it's a long enough piece that if you, when she, like if she turns away here, if you had time, adding in a little bit of like a little slight head tilt to where just even if it's just enough to shift it over just slightly and get a slight change in the pose on the ears, like he's tilting the head, so let the effect of gravity. So just a tiny little, just a little tilt of keep alive might be nice, but that's like icing on the cake, because the performance is should all be right here, because we want the viewer, after they take in everything, is you want to zero in on the character's face, and you did a really good job at that. So with this having the still locked off element, it reads for what it is, and that's totally fine. You're doing some nice little offsets in the spacing as you're coming up, and you're doing nice thoughtful posing, so it feels like a fleshed out character, even though I know that you could fully render this, take it to further stages of completion. Overall, I just really love this piece. And that you did it for the 11-second club, I think is really cool. So it's always nice seeing 2D animated pieces. I'm not a 2D animator, but I love it. So it's really nice to see little spots where you could just do little, just like little offsets, like with these ears coming down here. And turn it on, is that they're spaced the same coming down, so maybe getting building in a little bit more drag on one, just to give it a little different feel on the way down, but you don't want it to be, too cartoony overlappy, so it ends up working just fine. Overall, really nice job on this. It draws the eye in. Like I said, the visual storytelling gives me all of the information that I really sort of need. And it's just a nice little piece of work that you did for this competition. So thank you for submitting this. I really appreciate, all of us appreciate it. I say all of it. I appreciate it. We really appreciate it, because this is a fun thing to look at for professionals and for students as well. So thanks a lot, and congratulations again.